Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the historic AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center, it's the AARP 2022 Purpose Prize Awards. Featuring AARP CEO Joanne Jenkins, author of Life on Purpose, Dr. Vic Strecker, and special guest, award-winning actor and advocate Michael J. Fox. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy this evening's celebration.
Purpose.
Purpose.
It's about lived experience. People 50 and older have it.
It's about inspiration, finding new ways to tackle society's biggest problems.
It's about leadership, being an example of how others can work together to build a brighter future.
It's about following your North Star with passion and perseverance.
It's about finding your path to purpose.
So where do you start? Learn from the men and women who already know this path.
Their success will teach you how to tap into your own life experiences to help build a better future for others.
And their stories of determination and purpose will inspire you to discover yours.
Your path to purpose starts here.
Please welcome award-winning news correspondent and co-host of CBS Saturday Morning, tonight's host, Michelle Miller.
Good evening and welcome to the 2022 AARP Purpose Prize Awards. We're just outside the nation's capital at the American Film Institute's Silver Theater and Cultural Center. Tonight, well, the seats behind me are a bit empty out of an abundance of caution due to COVID, and hopefully we'll be together next year. But for now, we're streaming tonight's award show to our many virtual viewers who have tuned in to see, hear, and be inspired by our Purpose Prize award winners, fellows, and presenters. I'm honored to be your host this evening to celebrate the accomplishments of so many innovators who are 50 plus and who are making the world a better place for all. Tonight, I have the privilege of sharing with you profiles of people who found their path to purpose later in life by starting organizations whose kindness, caring, and perseverance is truly uplifting. In fact, so moving that beyond the prize money, AARP will lend its technical assistance and visibility to help them grow even more. In short order, you will meet these 5 AARP Purpose Prize winners. We'll also be joined by our jury chair, Sheri Lansing, the former CEO of Paramount Studios, who knows a thing or two about picking some winners. Later, we'll hear from actor and activist Michael J. Fox, the recipient of this year's AARP Honorary Purpose Prize Award. And be sure to stay for a live interactive question and answer segment with Dr. Victor Strecker, a professor at the University of Michigan School of Public Health, author of Life on Purpose, How Living for What Matters Most Changes Everything. You won't want to miss that. Here to officially kick off this year's show, please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of AARP, Joanne Jenkins.
Good evening, everyone. As we come together to celebrate this year's 5 Purpose Prize winners and 9 fellows, I can't help but think how different their achievements are. But what they all have in common, they found a path to purpose, which is the theme to this evening's award show. Tonight, we'll meet Purpose Prize winners who are combating misinformation in our media, battling breast cancer in African immigrants, repurposing food to provide nourishing meals, transforming our urban communities, and providing housing for the homeless. We have fellows who are transforming the lives of the next generation, our veterans, vulnerable groups in our communities, and a multitude of ways of reaching out to others. All of these remarkable achievements began with a single step on an uncharted path. Each of these leaders had to leave the comfort of the known path they had followed all of their working lives to move towards the unknown. None of them knew at the time whether the organization they were founding and leading would be feasible, much less successful. Yet they went ahead and did it anyway. In essence, they took a new path, guided by their sense of purpose. Congratulations and bravo to all the winners, the fellows, the nominees, and everyone at AARP who helped to make tonight's celebration possible. And thank you for joining us as we honor this year's Purpose Prize winners.
Joanne, thank you so much for all the hard work you and the AARP team do in supporting community leadership. Do you have an inspiring story about yourself or someone you know who found their path to purpose? We want to hear it. Use hashtag AARP Purpose Prize to share your story with us. And for the live Q&A segment at the end of the show, simply type your questions into the chat box. So start sending them right now, and we'll answer as many as we can later on. As we present the Purpose Prize Awards tonight in alphabetical order, we asked each of the winners to offer their advice about how each of us can find and achieve our own purpose. I hope you'll be inspired by their insight. Let's get started with our first award winner. This Purpose Prize goes to someone who saw a need, stepped up, followed his path, and started a vital program that helps feed people in Garden Grove, California. As the mission engagement liaison for this program, tonight's presenter knows firsthand the accomplishments of this award recipient. Please welcome Tiffany McCain.
Good evening. In a minute, you'll see a short video about Bracken's Kitchen, which will explain who we are and what we do. And when it's over, you'll understand why Bill Bracken won a Purpose Prize Award from AARP. But first, I want to take a minute to tell you some of the intangible things about Bill that a camera can't capture, like his incredible warmth and intelligence. The first time I learned about the work of Bracken's Kitchen was in 2018 when I was looking for an organization to do volunteer work. I reached out to Bill, and a couple months later, he gave me and a friend a personal tour of his kitchen. He was so passionate and so inspiring telling us about the work his organization was doing that I actually ended up working for him. Since then, I've come to not only know his incredible work ethic, he starts his day at 3 a.m, and he is dedicated to everything he commits to. And Bill's not all work. He is a loving family man, and he always manages to carve out time to be with his wife and kids. A true example of work-life balance. It's for all these many qualities that you can't capture in a video that I'm so grateful I was asked to present this 2022 AARP Purpose Prize Award to my boss, my mentor, and above all, my good friend, Bill Bracken. Congratulations, Bill.
Here in America, it's estimated that we're wasting up to 40% of our food supply. Tremendous amount of food goes in the landfill, and we're talking about highly perishable meat, chicken, fish, poultry, vegetables, things that rot. In the meantime, people struggle with food insecurity while we're throwing so much food away. I'm Bill Bracken, the founder and culinary director of Bracken's Kitchen. My purpose is feeding people who really need it. We're committed to rescuing, repurposing, and restoring both food and lives. What that means is we just get to go to work every day in the kitchen doing what we love to do most, cooking tasty, nutritious meals for our friends in need.
We make 8,000 meals a day, so you can imagine the process that has to go through from procurement, from rescue food vendor to, preparing, cooking, packaging, and then distribution out. Last year, we got about 240 tons of food rescued, and that's just about 80% of food provision. But there's a lot of food coming in and out all day long.
We get phone calls from complete strangers that we got this, we have that. I mean, wasn't long ago, a few weeks ago, that a trucker showed up and he was making a delivery that came out from Arkansas. And 3 pallets were left on his truck that people refused. He didn't know what to do with it. He called the local food bank. They said, call us. I mean, and we ended up with some amazing products. So we got a great network of people that are aware of us for sure. The economy tanked in 2008, and I watched a lot of really good people lose their jobs. They struggled just to put a meal on their table and to pay their rent. I was suddenly thrust into the lines of the unemployed. I had a wife who didn't work, had a young son at home, and one day a food truck went by and ding, 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 light bulbs went off in my head. How do you get people in need a meal? Having been a chef in Southern California and luxury hotels for more than 25 years, I just said, okay, I'm gonna get a food truck. We've built a vast network of partners that help us out, but our food goes all over Southern California, LA, Orange County, Inland Empire, homeless shelters, people living in poverty, the low-income population. Every neighborhood is different when we come feed, but we rolled in here at about 5 o'clock. It took us an hour to get set up, get all the food finished and ready to go. Dinner starts at 6 o'clock, and we'll be here for about an hour and 15 minutes. We've already served over 100 people.
They come once a month to just distribute food for free, and a lot of families benefit from this event.
I have a vision of a day when every food bank in America either has their own or is partnered with a rescued food kitchen like ours, because you know there's so many people and families out there that are depending on you, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Please welcome Bill Bracken.
Words, they really have meaning. For as long as I can remember, I've turned to words, poems, quotes, music lyrics to find meaning for me in my life, usually during my darkest of times. Many years ago, I heard a quote from Gandhi that really stumped me. The surest way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. When I first read that, I thought, I just didn't get it. I tucked it away in my file where I have so many quotes and poems, and I had no idea what that would come to mean to me so many years later. When I founded Bracken's Kitchen and I started taking the talents and skill that I've been born with, cooking, because that's really the greatest talent that I've been given, I finally realized what that poem and that quote meant so many years ago from Gandhi. After years of feeding the rich and the famous, we're now focused on feeding the low income and the poor. And it was that time that my heart, my very soul, my essence and being was finally at peace. I really figured out where I was supposed to be in this world and what I was supposed to be doing. And finally, I realized that the best way to find yourself truly is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I've been blessed to have that spark of cooking inside of me that just lights my soul on fire. And now to be able to use that to help others is truly a gift. I believe all of us have a gift. Some of us know what it is, but we're just using it for the wrong reasons. Others have to search for it and find it. And I know it's a scary process, but when you pour yourself into that, your life truly does change forever. And for that, I'm so grateful to be here. I thank AARP on behalf of all of our staff, our volunteers, and all the people out there that we get to feed. By shining a light on us and our work and your generous donation, we'll be able to do even more of that. So thank you all.
Thank you, Bill, for making such a difference and for inspiring us all. In addition to the Purpose Prize Awards, AARP has recognized 9 fellows, remarkable men and women who achieved impactful results in their communities. Now let's take a look at 3 whose purpose led them to find a hands-on solution. It's the first of 3 Spotlight on Fellows videos.
Tooth decay, one of the most common chronic diseases of childhood. In southern Nevada, children and teens from low-income families are twice as likely to have cavities as children from higher-income households. That's what caused Terry Chandler to take action. When she founded Future Smiles, 80% of her patients hadn't seen a dentist in more than 5 years, or at all. Her purpose was clear: deliver dental care to children that would be affordable and accessible to all. Thanks to Terry's hands-on work, Future Smiles has given vital dental services to 150,000 needy children throughout Nevada. Single mothers. Today, about 1/3 are poor, food insecure, and homeless or at risk for homelessness. Shelley Lane knows of this too well because she too was once a struggling single mother. Now her purpose is to teach these mothers how to use their hands and their heads. With her Women Under Construction network, Shelley and her staff work with counselors, social workers, contractors, and volunteer mentors to teach them how to use tools and the basics of home repair. It's a group that also provides parenting and financial literacy and a welcoming sisterhood to help transform the lives of each of these single mothers. Fewer than 3% of music producers and recording engineers, the technical side of all the sounds we listen to every day, are women. And fewer than 15% of the most popular Billboard songs are written by women. Terry Winston was determined to change those figures. As the founder of the Women's Audio Mission, her organization has given hands-on training to more than 4,000 under-resourced women, girls, and gender-diverse individuals, most of whom are low-income and of color. The group works with each individually to correct the gender gap in music and media technology. AARP honors these 3 fellows whose path to purpose was to offer hands-on help to others in their community.
This next award is presented to a visionary. His purpose drove him to create a unique program in his hometown of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to educate and mobilize local citizens to develop sustainable solutions to community challenges. Presenting this award is an entrepreneur and recipient of the American Institute for Public Service's 2010 Jefferson Award, Savitra Wilson.
Good evening. I'd like to give you an insider's perspective of a man who I was hired to help and who ended up helping me instead. My work is centered around supporting nonprofits and philanthropy, and years ago, I was approached by Raymond to help him take his organization to new heights. I know good communicators. I work with them every day, but I'd never seen anyone quite like Raymond. When he walks into a room, everyone else stops what they're doing. When he grabs a microphone, everyone stops talking and starts listening, because this is someone who's deeply rooted in his community, and his presence commands your attention and respect. Over time, I also learned he was an excellent listener. So good, in fact, that I often turn to him for his wisdom, his advice, and mentorship. In a moment, you'll see what his organization does and why AARP decided to give him this prestigious prize. As someone who was there in the beginning, I saw firsthand how his determination and passion to help those around him was built step by step and brick by brick. And I couldn't be more thrilled to present to Raymond the 2022 AARP Purpose Prize Award. Congratulations on such a well-deserved honor, Raymond. Let's see how your organization is changing the lives of those around you.
We believe that there are assets already existing in community that need to be activated or reactivated. And so first and foremost, we work with people. My name is Raymond A. Jetson, and I serve as the Chief Executive Catalyst at Metromorphosis. We exist to transform inner city neighborhoods from within. I'm a product of inner city Baton Rouge.
How you doing, man?
I saw young men who were full of potential, without a sense of purpose and direction. I saw families that appeared to be struggling. I saw the physical infrastructure declining. And so that became the seed for Metromorphosis. For those who have not registered, we partner with other change-oriented organizations and businesses who create access for small businesses and others.
Hello there.
Hello. For example, we've been working with barbers and hairstylists to do blood pressure checks because of health issues for African American males.
I walked in one day and they had the blood pressure machine up. Something that you never would expect to see at a barbershop. And turns out my blood pressure was 194 over 161. I was right at the verge of being able to have a stroke.
The program is called Community Hub, for us to be that hub, for us to be able to deliver and be a resource in the community.
We equip them on how to listen to their customers with a different set of ears. We are able to share with them resources that are responsive to the needs of their customers.
And that's been a life changer or saved my life, whatever you want to call it. But I'm very thankful for that.
We facilitate that intersection and make certain that it's a constructive, intentional process that leads to change.
I'm talking about people, people who care.
He actually cares about the people in the communities that he's serving in. It always goes back to how is this going to be made better for future generations.
So looking at this rite of passage of being an elder, this wonderful blessing of being old enough to have learned some things. How do I share that with the generations behind me? And so I have this sense of purpose and commitment to making the most out of every day that I have left on this earth.
I just thank Raymond. Man, it's so good to see
Good
you,
to see you.
man.
And now, Mr. Raymond Jetson.
I believe that one of the most important commitments that we can make is to the persistent practice of purpose. And in order to do so, we must first look internally to begin to examine what gifts, talents, abilities, resources, and passions describe me. And after looking internally, then it's necessary to look externally. What's going on in the world around me? What's going on in my community? Where are there opportunities? And where is there alignment with my gifts, talents, abilities, resources, and passions? And at that point, we must be mindful of the example of the pebble in the water. Once it drops into the water, there are ripples that begin. And in that moment, it becomes less about the pebble and more about the ripples. I'd encourage you to begin to make ripples in the world around you. I am so grateful to AARP for this honor to be a part of this great class and this great community. God bless you.
Congratulations on your win, Raymond. You're an inspiration, and hopefully others will follow in your path. Our third award recipient is a Pulitzer Prize winner who educates students on how to navigate the complex ecosystem of news and misinformation. To present this award, we're pleased to welcome Ana Rodriguez, a winner of this year's Gwen Ifill Student of the Year Award, and Marty Barron, a former editor with the LA Times, the Boston Globe, and the Washington Post.
Good evening, I'm Ana Rodriguez, a junior in high school. The first time I met Mr. Miller, he came to our school and gave an amazing talk about his passion project, identifying misinformation in the media. What he is doing, along with his organization, is a very wonderful thing for the community, as he is trying to help students like me and many others learn about the different kind of misinformation that take over our world today. I was so inspired by him and his presentation that I haven't been able to think about the media the same way since. Which is why I'm also very happy that he has been chosen for this award.
Alan and I first met in 1989 when we both worked for the Los Angeles Times, and Alan delivered the first of many page one stories that I would edit. Later, due to his pioneering investigative journalism out of Washington, D.C., he won the Pulitzer Prize. While Alan could have continued with his thriving journalism career, he took his life in a new direction when he identified a surpassingly important issue that needed to be addressed. And that is how people get their information and how to ensure they know what is reliable and what is not. I'm immensely impressed with Alan's dedication to this ever more urgent mission. And I'm proud that Anna and I were chosen to present him with an AARP 2022 Purpose Prize Award. Let's take a look at what Alan Miller has accomplished.
As a young person, it is hard to sort through the news.
If you have misinformation, it can harm their outlook on the world.
I don't want to be sharing false information to the people around me.
We live in a time that should be a golden age for information, but it is being overwhelmed by information not intended to inform, but rather to inflame and exploit and mislead. That is why it's essential to know what information to trust, to share, and to act on as participants in democracy. My name is Alan Miller. I'm the founder and CEO of the News Literacy Project. I spent 29 years as a newspaper reporter, awarded the Pulitzer Prize for a series looking at the Harrier jump jet. This is the series that we won the Pulitzer Prize for. And this is Julia. I was invited to speak at my daughter's middle school about what I did as a journalist and why it mattered. That evening, Julia brought home 175 handwritten thank you notes. I could see what had resonated. That was the seed that later took root and became the News Literacy Project. Our primary resource is our Checkology virtual classroom, with lessons led by a diverse group of journalists and other experts in the First Amendment and digital media.
We've all been fooled by a story or post.
Checkology teaches students the difference between news, opinion, propaganda, and advertising. We have a relatively new lesson on conspiracy theories. We teach students about the role of algorithms to personalize information. We have a very powerful lesson on bias and how to be mindful of their own confirmation bias.
So you get bombarded with information all the time, right?
I teach a 12th grade government course, and Checkology supports the use of news in my classroom.
After teaching the kids news literacy, they really understand the difference between credible information and fake information.
Correct.
Now I kind of look at things twice.
I started paying attention to news.
Being able to distinguish trusted information has allowed me to help my family members during our time in the COVID-19 pandemic.
For the past 13 and a half years, I've gotten up every day with a real sense of purpose to meet the challenge of the growing scourge of misinformation. The challenge is so urgent, the need is so great that we not only want to create a next generation that's news literate, but really to create a news literate America.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Miller.
I'd first like to express my deepest gratitude to AARP for this exceptionally meaningful honor, and to thank Marty and Anna for their gracious remarks. I've been extremely fortunate to have been drawn to two careers that are profoundly purposeful. I've always thought of journalism, with its ability to hold the powerful accountable and to right wrongs, as much a calling as a career. In NLP, I've been blessed to find a second such calling. Launching and growing NLP has been a labor of love, but it has required considerable effort, persistence, and determination not to be deterred by the skeptics. We were initially told that we'd never be able to get into schools, and others questioned our ability to show demonstrable impact, or sustain ourselves, or move to national scale. I've been able to answer those questions by intentionally seeking out others with the expertise, resources, and shared passion to turn my vision into our reality. Our work has been made possible by our outstanding and talented board and staff members, as well as the many educators, journalists, and donors who are such essential partners, plus the unstinting support of my loving family. I believe that such a circle of virtue is at the heart of any strong nonprofit. The rewards have been incalculable. It has been tremendously gratifying to see something that I started from scratch in the basement office of my home have such transformative impact on so many young lives, particularly on students from underserved communities. My advice to anyone seeking to make such a difference is to find a societal problem in search of a solution and approach it with curiosity, creativity, and commitment. It may feel like a leap of faith at first, and you will no doubt encounter many hurdles on the journey, but I hope that you will find the experience as deeply fulfilling for you as it has been for me.
Congratulations, Alan. As a journalist, I certainly know and appreciate how important the work you're doing is to our nation's future. Keep it up. And now let's meet three more fellows whose path to purpose led them to reach out to the next generation.
Many Many students of color have a dream of going into a healthcare profession. But if they don't get encouragement or a role model, they can give up their passion. That was Dexter Frederick's purpose behind starting Brain Expansion Scholastic Training. His organization pairs underrepresented students who are interested in the medical field with mentors of a similar ethnicity who show them the pathways to a career where they can flourish. This organization understands that a child's future is influenced by who they see. By helping these students pursue a medical career, Dexter knows they'll also be helping their communities when they return to serve. Our next generation has a lot to say. Unfortunately, they lack a platform to be heard. Larry Berger is changing that with the Saturday Light Brigade, an engaging program found on 6 radio stations and 5 streaming platforms that is produced and hosted by teenagers. The Brigade also works with approximately 4,000 middle and high school students each year in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, most of whom are from under-resourced, marginalized communities. Larry's purpose is to let the next generation know that their voice matters, and he's giving them the opportunity to be heard. Over 400,000 children in the U.S. are in foster care. Many are neglected and forgotten, and very few have the chance to get outdoors and experience nature in the summer months. Sheila Jaffe's path was to change all that. As co-founder of the Felix organization, she has seen almost 3,000 children in foster care attend Camp Felix, an overnight camp program. In addition, nearly 13,000 have participated in Felix's after-school enrichment and theater outings. Thanks to their nature program, which includes hiking, swim instruction, rock climbing, and more, their campers leave Camp Felix with improved physical and cognitive abilities and an appreciation for the natural world. AARP honors these 3 fellows who found their purpose to be caring mentors to the next generation.
Coming up later, the public voted for one of our 5 Purpose Prize winners to receive the coveted 2022 AARP Inspire Award. Stay tuned to see who won. And now to present the 2022 Honorary Purpose Prize Award, please welcome back AARP CEO Joanne Jenkins.
Tonight has been so inspirational. I love hearing the stories of our winners and fellows who found their paths to purpose and have helped so many in their communities. And now I'm honored to recognize another person whose work has had a profound impact on the lives of others. In this case, it's about finding a cure for an insidious disorder that affects more than 10 million people globally, Parkinson's disease. It's my pleasure to present the AARP Honorary Purpose Prize Award to Michael J. Fox, author, actor, activist, and founder of the Michael J. Fox Foundation. For the past 21 years, this organization has been relentless in sponsoring novel research as it seeks to find a cure for Parkinson's.
I left Spin City for a new job, finding a cure for Parkinson's disease. This research offers the potential to eliminate diseases. The war against Parkinson's is a winnable war, and we started talking about our goals. And the first word that came to my mind was obsolescence, to be out of business as a foundation as fast as possible.
The Fox Foundation back then was sort of lean and mean and nimble. More than anything, I think it was the vision of being different, figuring out, okay, this is an important area, we're going to fill this gap.
It grew from a kind of a Wall Street strategy of accountability, of action, of trying to get things done.
There was a certain frenetic energy to that organization, just this view of we have a blank slate, let's move forward, let's see what we can do, and that's incredibly exciting.
I think the foundation is extraordinary because of the priorities that it's set. It's made getting to a cure and not taking any credit for it their bottom line. And that comes right from Michael, which is we're not trying to create a profit-growing enterprise here. We're trying to cure the disease.
The Fox Foundation is a unique organization and really very rapidly sort of achieved the leadership role.
What I think was really unusual and really speaks to the trust that companies have in the Michael J. Fox Foundation was that they were able to bring all of these companies together at the same table, Pfizer, Merck, Genentech, all sitting together to say, let's try to understand this. This was really unusual.
Michael is the inspiration for the foundation, and his principles, his integrity, how well respected he is, guide everything that the foundation has done and does do.
For me, initially, it was so important to raise awareness that somebody with visibility, somebody who is well respected and well known, could really put a face to this condition.
I first found out my father had Parkinson's when I was at San Diego State. I was in college. I just thought, how could this be? And there weren't a lot of answers. Being a part of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, it pushes me to engage with the Parkinson's community in a way that I hadn't before. No longer is it this quiet thing that just happened to my family and to my father.
My father was diagnosed with Parkinson's when I turned 40. And what I loved about seeing Michael come forward, create this incredible organization, believe in it, speak about it, talk about it, get people to be aware, it gave people the ability to have that voice as well, to be able to push forward.
And now, AARP's 2022 Honorary Purpose Prize recipient, Michael J. Fox.
I want to thank AARP for this honor. I'm often asked how I found purpose in establishing the Michael J. Fox Foundation. But the truth is, purpose found me. Like so many, I faced a challenge I never expected. Parkinson's has taken me to some dark places. But today, I consider it an extraordinary gift. It led me to discover the power of people working together to solve big problems. This prize really honors the countless individuals who've joined the foundation's call to action. Scientists, family members, and patients themselves. In our line of work, every answer leads to a new question. But I'm inspired and motivated to keep at it because the way this community shows up with determination, ingenuity, and yes, purpose. Together, there's nothing we can't achieve. Thank you and congratulations to my fellow honorees.
Congratulations, Michael. I'm also excited to tell you about a feature-length documentary being produced by AARP Studios. The film features stories of amazing people who are driven by their purpose and will offer eye-opening insights from leading world scientists whose work affirms that living a life of purpose and living longer are completely intertwined. Let's take a look.
Who are you? Who would you like to become? Have you found your purpose in life? The thing that guides you and gives your life meaning? What if you knew it could help you live years longer? That it could be the ultimate superpower in all of us?
Purpose is one of the most important predictors of health and well-being of any measure that I've ever looked at.
People who report a higher life purpose have about a 2.5-fold lower risk of death.
Purpose is about as important for our health as not smoking and not drinking and not driving drunk.
Purpose is too often overlooked, and it's too important to continue to ignore.
Purpose is the reason that we get up and move. So if we don't have purpose, then what motivates us to do those things that are good for the body?
One of the most important elements of pursuing a purpose is there's so many roads of getting there. You're going to take a path that's going to be a road full of strife and challenges and conflict and ambiguities, but you're doing it because there's a cause that you care about so much.
The self-help industry is worth over $10 billion. Countless books and lectures conceived with the hope of providing a mental map to our search for meaning. Is it innate? In us from birth? Could it be earned? Can it be found, traced, and measured? Could it be learned?
What are the 2 most important days in your life?
The first is the day you were born, and the second is the day you figure out why.
Prepare to meet Mark, Shirley, Wintley, and Karen. 4 impassioned people who've discovered deep meaning in their lives. From how they were wronged, to how they were raised, how they believed, and how they were taught. In finding their purpose, our 4 heroes are impacting, changing, and even saving lives around them. And importantly, it's likely they're improving their own lives more than a little. We'll also hear from the world's leading doctors, psychologists, neuroscientists, and genomics experts whose work affirms that living a life filled with purpose directly impacts our ability to live healthier, live longer. As you watch, go ahead, ask yourself this important question. When do you feel most alive, intentional, engaged? That you're doing what you love, what you're here for, what matters. Then give a thought, a breath, to how you might pursue it. Welcome to the hidden power of purpose.
Please welcome back our host, Michelle Miller.
That looks good. I cannot wait to see it. And remember, keep sending your questions for our live Q&A with Dr. Vic Strecker. It's not an easy task to select these 5 winners and 9 fellows from this year's amazing applicants who all are following their own unique path to purpose. We owe a debt of gratitude to the selection jury for their dedication and passion in selecting this year's winners. Like our Purpose Prize winners, Jury Chair Sheri Lansing has created a deeply meaningful encore career. After more than 30 groundbreaking years running Hollywood studios and producing hit movies, she now heads the Sheri Lansing Foundation, raising funds for cancer research, STEM education teacher training, and helping others to pursue meaningful third chapters. It is my privilege to introduce you to Miss Sheri Lansing.
Hi, I'm Sheri Lansing, and I am delighted to be here. The reason this is so important to me is that tonight we are redefining aging. We are showing that good ideas and innovation is not the sole province of the young. You know, I can still remember when we began this prize. It was over 15 years ago. And our very first event was a very small event. There were only about 40 people. But today, thanks to AARP, we could literally fill a stadium. But one thing that has not changed is how difficult it is to choose a winner. It's almost more difficult to fill this out than it is my Academy Award ballot. But year in and year out, even though I struggle, we always come to a conclusion, and they are a remarkable group of people who win the Purpose Prize. I also want to say a special and a huge congratulations to Michael J. Fox. I so admire the way that you have handled your battle with Parkinson's. You have been an inspiration to all of us. You've handled this disease with courage and with dignity. So thank you for everything you've done to make the world a better place for all of us. So, in concluding, I just want to extend my gratitude to all of you who are here today for supporting this prize. I want to congratulate once again the winners, the fellows, the nominees, and of course, Michael J. Fox. And above all, I want to thank AARP for being such an incredible advocate for all of us over the age of 50, for all of us who are aging with dignity, and for being our guiding light. Thank you again. It's such an honor for me to have been able to chair the Purpose Prize for now over 15 years. Thank you again.
Next, our fourth award winner created a pathway for African immigrant women to access health care, specifically focused on breast cancer awareness and prevention. Here to present this award is breast cancer survivor Abeni Ogun and board member Maureen Ume.
Good evening. I'm Abeni Ogun. Since 2001, I'm a breast cancer survivor. Ife's mother and Ife's best friend were not, unfortunately. And I believe that was the motivation for her starting the African Women's Cancer Awareness Association. Little did she know Ife herself will become a survivor in 2018. Many of us take preventive mammograms for granted in this country. But for women in Africa, where Ife and I originally came from, they do not have this access nor the opportunity. Ife said, we can still help these women with our support and money and love. We can save many lives. Even if she is soft-spoken, her passion is so strong and contagious, you can't say no to her. Don't even try.
Ife is a very compelling, a very compassionate woman, and she knows how to get things done, not by speaking loudly, but by listening. Once, for example, she called to tell me about a health problem her husband was having, but she started the call by asking about my family. I spent 15 minutes telling her about everyone until I realized she had called because she needed a friend at that moment. The point is, she always makes you believe she only cares about you, and she does that with everyone she meets. Abeni and I are so proud to have been chosen to present Ife with AARP's 2022 Purpose Prize Award. And when you see the video about her work, you'll understand why they decided Ife so richly deserved it.
As an African woman, we really never discuss our health. Growing up, I had no idea the medical history in my own family. I'm Ife Nwabuku, and I'm the founder for the African Women's Cancer Awareness Association. I started this organization to help women to overcome their fear about breast cancer. I wish you the very best. Thank you. I was born and bred in Nigeria, and I came to America to further my education. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 months after she arrived in the United States. She was unable to get health insurance to cover her. I honestly didn't know the burden African immigrant women really face to navigate around here. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016. I stand as a testament that everybody who is diagnosed does not die from it. Our organization is trying to make sure that women understand that early screening saves lives. One of the services we offer is the Mammovan breast cancer screening. They feel like they're getting very intimate attention. When they go up, it's just them. They feel more comfortable.
Ife puts her heart and soul in this. The women trust us because they know we understand where they're coming from. It makes a difference that they come to some place that they look around, they see somebody that looks like them. It's important for us to take the message out to let African women know that it's okay, you can talk to us, and once we detect it early, it's not a death sentence.
We see the patient from diagnosis all the way up onto survivorship. We make sure that there's nothing stopping them from continuing their treatment. Because of the Mammovan, we have identified quite a number of cancers over the years.
I cannot talk about my cancer story without mentioning the AWCAA. I came into the office very burdened, but by the time I was leaving, she was able to give me hope that all was not lost.
I want to spend the rest of my life making sure that we save those women that we can.
Please welcome Ife Wabuku.
How do you find your purpose in life? Nobody can tell you that, but I'm here to let you know that once you have and find exactly what your purpose in life is, that gives you joy, it gives you satisfaction. And so, today I'm here to tell you that I turned my pain into a purpose. I went out there to find ways to make it happen. I am here to let you know that everybody has it in them. I have it, you have it. As far as I know, once you're doing and you're on the right path, you can bring joy and happiness to other people's lives, just like I have done. What I ask you to do not listen to the naysayers. Do not bring yourself down. Don't worry about how you can make it happen, because once you know what you're doing, you're convinced, there are people along the way that come and help you get to where you want to go. As far as I know, this has been a wonderful journey, and here we are, 2022 AARP Purpose Prize Award recipient. Thank you to AARP for making this happen. This has been a wonderful journey. Thank you.
Ife, you are an incredible woman who's made such a difference in the African immigrant community. Thank you for all of the work you do. Now we turn our attention to our final spotlight on fellows. This one features 3 community leaders whose work helps others live healthier lives.
Twice as many veterans take their lives compared to the general population. Those who have seen combat frequently suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, body pain, sleeplessness, and traumatic brain injury. Ana Baez Yellen founded the Healing Warriors program with the purpose of providing veterans and their families with non-drug treatments to reduce their pain and anxiety, improve their sleep, and ultimately, their hope. Ana's program provides free weekly sessions of acupuncture, craniosacral therapy, and healing touch. When veterans were asked to rate their anxiety and pain before and after each session, on average, it diminished by 50%. To date, the program has served about 2,500 veterans. Like other indigenous communities, Native Hawaiians disproportionately suffer from health and social disparities in their ancestral homeland. As highly processed and high-fat Western diets replace their traditional high-protein and nutrient-rich diet, Native Hawaiians today have one of the highest rates of cardiovascular diseases among all major ethnic groups. In 2017, Elimaho Lastimosa started her organization to give Hawaiian communities the knowledge and skills they need to grow their own food. For example, they teach islanders how to replenish seaweed, update their marine ecosystems, and use aquaponics to provide their households with food and medicine, all while ensuring ethically responsible research. To date, they have served over 15,000 members. Today, 1 in 27 teens will be diagnosed with a substance use disorder, and 1 in 7 with a mental health issue. Yet for those with both, up to a third receive no treatment. Rebecca Bonner refused to accept those numbers. In 2011, she founded the Bridgeway School, the first high school in Pennsylvania to serve students in recovery from substance abuse disorder and mental health disorders. They also work with local justice systems to provide an alternative diversionary program for teens who would otherwise be placed in juvenile detention facilities. Since opening their doors, Rebecca's Bridgeway School has served 225 students. AARP honors these 3 fellows for finding their path to purpose, helping others lead healthier lives.
I'm sure that all of you are inspired by now. At least I can say that I am. So please share your path to purpose using our social media hashtag AARP Purpose Prize. Our final 2022 Purpose Prize Award winner this evening develops and provides permanent housing in New York City for homeless women and children. Here to present the award are Ms. Mirta Vida, Housing Plus recipient, and the Reverend Sharon White Harrigan, Executive Director of the Women's Community Justice Association.
Good evening. I'm Mirta Vida. I can describe my relationship to Rita Zimmer in 2 words. Guardian angel. You see, I'm a veteran and a woman of color who's a survivor of spousal abuse. And I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for the help I received from Rita and her organization. She quite literally saved my life. This is a woman who decided to give back, and I think she does so because she sees all of us as people. She's just trying to level out the playing field. It's her sense of compassion and her empathy that has helped people like me regain our humanity. Oh, and she's also a snazzy dresser.
Thank you, Mirta. You know, Rita is something of an inspiration to all of us who know and work with her. Maybe it's the fact that she used to run marathons, that she learned how to pace herself. Such incredible energy, and she will ride with you until the wheels fall off. Oh, and if you don't know, she loves to cook. And she understands the great way food just brings people together. And that reinforces her understanding of the people she serves. She doesn't see them as people who need. She sees them as people who deserve. A wise woman told me, you are brave, bold, kind, courageous, fierce, strong, determined, inspiring, and loved. Now I pass it back to that same wise woman. So it is really an honor and a privilege for me and Mirta to be able to present a 2022 AARP Purpose Prize Award to our dear friend, Rita Zimmer.
In helping homelessness, you have to be able to see the person as being in a home. I'm Rita Zimmer, and I'm the Executive Director and the founder of Housing Plus.
How are you? Fine.
You graduated from Honorary Art School?
Yes, I'm going to college this year.
Our purpose at Housing Plus is to provide someone with affordable, safe housing. There's over almost 60,000 homeless people in New York City. Almost 25,000 of them are children. During COVID, we actually finished this building. We moved in 100 families. We also set up a community classroom for the families and for the kids. We set up food pantries. We had to make sure people had the protection equipment they needed. They had ways to get their medicine. We had women who had to get to dialysis during COVID. What is it you need to succeed? Do you need a job? Do you need training? Do you need medical care? Do you need help with something?
She loves what she does. She loves what she does. She does it for the better of the woman and their children.
I can relate to the problems that we see today of homelessness and poverty and criminal justice. When I was in college, I had a problem with alcohol. The way I was drinking, it would have been easy for me to end up in prison or jail. I've been sober now for, well, pretty close to 50 years. My life was just amazingly changed at that moment when someone said, "I believe in you," and that has really made all the difference in my life. Out of the close to 200 housing families and individuals we have at Housing Plus, 70 of them are women veterans. Another part of what we do in our work at Housing Plus is the justice part of our work, to decarcerate, get women out of prison and jail, back into communities where they belong.
If there was more like her, maybe a lot of women would be successful. Coming out of jail, drug use, getting their kids back.
Rita's always been there for us, through thick and thin. We need something, she's there.
I think I sense my purpose is to just keep doing what I'm doing. When you start something like Housing Plus, it's very powerful. I learn so much from the women themselves. They give me hope. I've seen so many miracles. The housing is really the entryway into whatever's going to come next. And now it's up to you to start making it happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, our final winner, Rita Zimmer.
Hi, good evening. First of all, thank you to AARP for recognizing the devastating impact that homelessness has on individuals, women, families, and the community. And to my HP staff, Housing Plus staff, for recognizing the same thing, but also recognizing that there are solutions to any problem. If you just take a look around, you'll find a solution. I have my key to my house right here in my pockets. Here it is. And I bet you know where your key is too. And you know when you go home tonight, wherever you are right now, you're going to be safe. You're going to have a sense of dignity, safety, security, and just a place where you can let down and be yourself. Well, that's what it means to have somebody have a home and to connect. The important thing is connecting. And so when you say, well, what can I do to connect? What can I do to make that connection from a problem to a solution? Well, I say, think big, but start small. Think about what you can do to make a difference. Volunteering at a shelter, handing out food at a food pantry, opening a food pantry, starting a food pantry, doing something about the environment. But whatever it does, you have to do it with gusto, with excitement, with joy in your heart. And if you put joy in your heart and a smile on your face, I'll try that myself, you're going to find that we're on a journey together. And I hope we all can stay connected in many different ways. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful and so pleased to be part of your family.
What a program and what incredible results. The impact you're having is changing so many lives. Rita, congratulations on your Purpose Prize Award.
Our final presentation of the evening is also our newest. Last year, we introduced a new award called the AARP Inspire Award, where the general public votes for one of our 5 Purpose Prize winners. The Inspire Award recognizes impact, personal story, and innovation, and the recipient's organization will receive an additional $10,000. And now, I'm very excited to announce that this year's AARP Inspire Award goes to the founder and culinary director, Bracken's Kitchen, Bill Bracken. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Bill. I have to say that I've been so touched by the many stories we've heard. Remarkable people who I hope inspire you to find your own path to purpose. For some of us, it may not be starting a new organization, but rather just taking the step to volunteer in your community, or simply reaching out to someone who needs your help to make their life a bit better. So thank you. It has been a privilege to host the Purpose Prize Awards this year. And I'll see you in the live Q&A in just a few minutes. And Joanne, thank you too.
I'd like to thank you, Michelle, for hosting tonight. You really made it an amazing event. Whatever you choose to do in life, Do it with purpose, passion, and compassion. We'll all benefit. I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations to this year's award recipients and fellows, with a special shout out to Michael J. Fox and his foundation team for all of the great work they're doing to battle Parkinson's disease. Now it's time to go to the interactive portion of the show, where I'm excited to introduce our special guest tonight, Dr. Vic Strecker. Enjoy the live chat and good night.
And I'm here now, back with you with Dr. Vic Strecker. He is a visionary leader and expert in the fields of behavior change, digital communication, and well-being. His pioneering research led to successful ventures reaching millions of lives. He's founder and CEO of Kumanu, a next-generation well-being company, professor at the University of Michigan School of Public Health, renowned speaker, and author. His 2 books, Life on Purpose and the graphic novel On Purpose, makes him the perfect guest to have this evening as we discuss your path to purpose. I'm delighted to be joined now by Dr. Vic Strecker. Thanks for being here.
I am so grateful to be here, Michelle. This has been amazing, this session, listening to these 5 people and the past recipients. Unbelievable. So much fun.
So let's get right to it. I want you to define purpose in life for us.
Sure. All I mean by purpose, and I really want to simplify this, this is a goal or set of goals around the things that matter most in your life. That's it. So you start by thinking about what matters most. What do I value? Set goals around that. As you set goals around the things that matter most, you start saying, I am here to be that person. That becomes a purpose for you.
So are we expected to keep the same purpose throughout our entire life? No?
I think you need a purpose every time you need a Hallmark card. You know, if you graduate, if you have kids, if you get married, if you have a divorce, if you lose a loved one, if you retire, at all those times, you might well need to repurpose your life, almost like the concentric rings on a tree. It's very important to be reconsidering your purpose, and especially in retirement.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So should we sort of switch gears at that point? And how important is it when you make that transition into retirement to kind of keep that flame burning?
Well, I can tell you maybe what not to do, what's not very healthy for you. And that would be saying, okay, I'm just going to retire now and start playing golf all the time or whatever. Because after 5 days, you might realize that you're not that good at golf and your bones hurt and you wake up and you're sore and you just start watching TV all the time. That's not good. So repurposing your life in a way, hopefully, that is giving. You notice those exemplars that we're all watching. We can't all expect to be doing as much as they're doing, but it's super important to be thinking about giving, about transcending purposes, and not just simply rolling up on the couch.
So, okay, so we've been hearing about these people making incredible impacts in their communities. They're big and lofty. I mean, does it matter, you know, if our purpose is larger than life, or if it has, you know, small dividends?
Your purpose might be your cat. Your purpose, you know, look on what's on your smartphone. Is it a grandchild? Is it a loved one? Is it nature? Is it art? Is it something, whatever? Maybe you start with whatever the wallpaper is on your smartphone, but no, it doesn't have to be big. Maybe you turn right around and see the person next to you and realize, wow, maybe I could focus a little more purposeful goal setting around that person.
And what kind of impact does it have to be purposeful on our health?
Well, that's what I study. And we know that people, first of all, real simply, people with strong purpose live longer. And there are many studies of that. And you can't control it away. It's not, you know, after controlling for age and race and income and education and health status and health behaviors, you still live a lot longer. We now are studying what happens in your genome. So your genes literally express more antiviral cells if you have a strong transcending purpose. So not bad in a COVID, you know, in a pandemic, by the way. So we know that people with strong purpose express fewer pro-inflammatory cells. And, that's like the fertilizer to chronic disease. We need to have a strong purpose. Very importantly, people with a strong purpose, and there are 3 studies of this now, over at least a 7-year period of time, are half as likely to develop Alzheimer's than people with a very weak or no purpose. If that were a drug, this would be an amazing drug, wouldn't it? It'd be $1 billion pill. It'd be in our drinking water, probably.
I know. I mean, well, it should be. I mean, it should be in our psyche, right? I think.
Well, the AARP is making that happen.
That's true. Well, you know what? We have a lot of people out there who are tuned in, or should I say tuned on, or should I say logged in? That's the one. That's the one we're looking for. And so I'm going to
welcome everyone.
Right. So let's go right here on my handy dandy computer screen here. The first question from our audience is, and Jennifer is asking, is it normal to have doubts while trying to determine what your purpose is, exactly because of many setbacks, failures, disappointments, and losses?
It's the setbacks and losses that often create people's purposes. If you go back to Viktor Frankl's famous book, Man's Search for Meaning, he went through 3 concentration camps and found that the prisoners, if they weren't murdered outright, if they could find purpose and meaning or maintain that, they were more likely to survive. My own personal story, 10 years ago, my 19-year-old daughter passed away very unexpectedly of a heart attack. And she was a nursing student at the university. I went through a deep depression, and I found that repurposing my life to try to teach every one of my students as if they're my daughter, Julia, became a new purpose in my life. And it became a new theme for my life, and it totally changed my life.
Dr. Vic, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so happy, though, that you were able to share it with us. I think back to when I was fired from my first job. I felt my purpose in life was my job because I get a chance to talk to so many people. And a friend of mine at the time that I was going through this said to me, Michelle, he said, a setback, nothing but a setup for a comeback. And that is the motto I live with.
Right.
So
great words.
Keep that in mind. Don't ever think that failure, mistakes are not like just lessons to get you to that next great step.
Well, if you think about it, Michelle, if the viewers think back to the time they grew the most in their life, was it when they were on the beach sipping martinis and Mai Tais, or was it when something difficult happened? It's usually something difficult, and it's usually something, hopefully, that we can grow from, including COVID, including this pandemic, including all the suffering that so many people are going through. Maybe we can gain strength from this. We can discover strengths we didn't know we had. We discover new values that lead us to new purposes. That's the point.
That got us here. How about our next question? How important is the role of money in achieving your purpose?
Well, even Aristotle said that hedonic purposes, focusing on hedonism, which is, of course, good food or good wine or good whatever, it's nice vacations, all that stuff. We all want that. And Aristotle said that's fine. But if that's all we are, it's like we're grazing animals. And while we like to graze, he said it's really important to have a transcending set of core values and purpose. And that's what helps us. And we know that now, actually, scientifically, we know that transcending values actually leads to greater and more positive gene expression, whereas these more self-enhancing or hedonic purposes are not so good. We're really busy studying those different kind of purposes. And, family is important. Almost everybody will say, family is my purpose, and that's great. How can you even move beyond that family? How can you move into your community or toward causes you care about or other things? If you're able to do that, that can be very, very healthy for you.
Our next question, Dr. Vic, is from Kate, and she asked, there are so many things I'm passionate about. How do I narrow it down?
Well, sometimes you don't have to narrow it down, but one thing that having a purpose does is almost automatically focus you on the things that matter most and defocus you on the silly things. You know, I really don't care what some famous person on social media is wearing or how they're acting or what they're doing or what they're eating. It doesn't matter to me. What I care about are the things that matter most in my life, and that's where I place my goals. And typically that's not more than, 5 or 6 things, although I have a very big purpose with a lot of different things. I maintain my energy, so I try to sleep well. I meditate every day. I try to be active. I try to be creative, and I try to eat well. And I call that space: sleep, presence, activity, creativity, and eating. Did I give myself space every day? And then I start discovering what part of space works best for me, because that might be different for you, Michelle. So everybody's different. Figure it out, be your own researcher, and then live with purpose.
Yeah, I need to find more space. I love that space. I need to find some better space. I need to find some more space. It's perfect.
I'm sure you have a lot of roles in your own life, Michelle, with a family, with all the things you're doing, your busy schedule, focusing on the things that matter most, but giving yourself the energy to become purposeful. It's not about time, usually, it's about energy. And can I manage my energy? So yeah, that's what we need more of.
Sleep is key. Sleep is super key. It can help with all the rest of that stuff. So number 4, I'm new to my community and would like to contribute. How do I get started?
A couple of the people speaking before, the previous award winners, one of them, a woman, said, just do it. So sometimes it involves just doing something. And another previous Purpose Award winner said, start with small steps. Start with those small steps and just watch them germinate. And I love that idea. Turn to the person next to you, turn to the person just outside your door in a way. You don't have to go to northern India and meditate in a cave for 6 months. You don't have to go out and do something unbelievably spectacular. Usually these things tend to grow, and think about how they can grow and germinate, but maybe start small.
Well, there's so many organizations at the community level or community-based level that, probably you can find alignment with. And I know that when job I was telling you about in that little town in South Carolina, it was a godsend for me. It really was. I was able to throw myself into it. So yeah, start there, I would think.
I've been in the past, I was in community theater, true community, literally our neighborhood, but we had a 90-year-old woman start in as an actress in this just for fun. And she continued until she was almost 100 years old. It was amazing. And everyone loved her. It was so special. And that's what she woke up in the morning for. That's what gave her purpose. And it's probably why she lived to be 100.
That's what you wake up for, purpose in life. Question number 5 is from Lloyd. And he asks, is purpose something most elders have already discovered? Which alludes to what you just mentioned there.
People who are older, in our research, we found that they do tend to be a bit more purposeful, maybe because they're thinking about it a bit more. They're thinking about the fact that every year of their life is now more important than it was before. If you have, young people, they don't think about that. They think, oh, I have 100 years to live or whatever. But as you get older, those, just like the number of dollars you have, every dollar is more valuable if you have 5 than if you have 10,000, of course. In fact, Marcus Aurelius said, do not live your life as if you're going to live 10,000 years. So think about older people think about that. And so trying to build as much life into those years, into those later chapters of our lives is super important, in my opinion. And to do that, purpose really drives that.
So our next question is, I don't know if I want to start a nonprofit like those winners did, but what can I do to find purpose in my life?
Turn to the people around you. Think about what's important in your life. Think about who relies on you. Think about what causes you care about. And this may sound a little morbid, but it's not. Think about what you'd want people to say at your memorial service. What would you want on your headstone? I often have my college students, draw a headstone, put their name on it, say, I just died tomorrow. What do you want to have on that headstone? And at first they go, I don't want to do that, no. And then they do it and they go, wow. That was really important for me. Thank you, Dr. Strecker, for helping me with a new direction. So think about those things. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? What's important to you? Who relies on you? What causes do you care about? What are you grateful for? What gets you up in the morning?
I'm curious, what would be written, or would you like to be written on your headstone?
I want to be considered, I want to help 1 billion people find greater purpose in their lives.
There it is.
I want to help people get out on the, I want to help people get out on the dance floor. I think, especially in retirement, you know, the word wallflower is funny because you're on the wall, but you're a flower, right? Remember, you're a flower, you're beautiful. Getting out on the dance floor and maybe not worrying so much about what other people think about your purpose, because it's your purpose, it's your life. And I know when I used to dance in sock hops in 9th grade or so, and I'd like, oh my God, and people would look at me going, wow, he's weird. You have to not care. If you don't care what other people think about you, and you start living your life, and hopefully a transcending life that helps others, you will have great purpose. And that is very good for your health. It's good for you.
And you'll have a lot of fun in the process.
Well, it helps you live a big life. That's for sure. You saw those people who are award recipients. They are living big lives. They're awesome people. I want to have a drink with them. I want to hang with them.
All right. Well, next question is, how do you keep motivated once you find your purpose?
Well, purpose, we have discovered, and other people have discovered, there's, by the way, over 1,000 studies now of purpose in life. Purpose in and of itself is the root cause, or a major root cause, of motivation. So if you have a strong purpose in your life, you start becoming more directed and motivated. You don't need motivation, you need motives. And motives are what form the core of purpose.
Motives. I think we have motivation to go out there and find motives for what we want to do with our lives, outside of work, outside of play, outside of family. And, you know, I think you've set us up. You've set us up for something bigger and better. And I'm curious, what's next for you, Dr. Strecker?
Well, I really am so excited about the science of purpose and understanding, why do people live longer when they have a strong purpose? You know, what is it about that? And we've been studying even what are called epigenetic clocks now, looking at how our genome expresses differently if you have a strong purpose. And now you can actually get your epigenetic clock tested. I just did 2 months ago. And, you know, you spit in a tube and, you know, I sent it off to these researchers, and I'm 66 chronologically. And it came back and said, your biologic clock is 56. And I thought, wow, people with a strong purpose. And we ask people now in surveys all the time, what's your perceived age? What age do you perceive yourself? People with a strong purpose average about 5 to 7 years longer in their perceived age than their chronologic age. I mean, shorter. So I love that. For every year I age, I'm really only aging 0.85 years. I dig that. And I can plan to continue being purposeful, but also studying it with amazing other researchers. I'm here to help those young researchers. I'm not here to be the first author. I'm not here to, you know, do all that. I am here to support other people. And at my business, Kumanu, you know, we've built a wonderful app called Purposeful that helps people become more purposeful. And that's now being tested and now rolled out among people in, you know, on a lot of different groups. It's really exciting and fun.
I am totally floored that we have, in science or through science, now taken a DNA test, essentially is what you're saying here. And we are divining like our thoughts, our feelings, our motivations as having like an impact on our biological clock.
Doctors usually don't teach you that, do they?
No,
it's really important that we understand this. It's so important. There's a whole new wave of medicine and public health understanding aging better. It's so important. And we need to do it from multiple perspectives, not just biology, not just medicine, but even philosophy.
You know, Doc, you are just a joy to talk to. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I know you've been on watching with me because we've been on since I think about 5 o'clock. Well, maybe not that early, but we've been in touch, and I just want you to know we thank you. And maybe you know someone who could possibly be up for a Purpose Prize next year. If so, or you, Dr. Vic, or anybody out there might think that they have someone that they could nominate for a Purpose Prize. You know, that's next year's, of course. Check on your screen. Go to aarp.org/apply and get those nominations in, because, you know, it's nice to be recognized when you've done something for somebody else. And it would be wonderful to show an appreciation. I love nominating people for special things like this. And I'm sure you all will too. So, you know what, Doc, are you going to be here next year?
I sure hope so. I loved this year's event. I truly did. And what AARP is doing right now is just awesome. It's actually very gratifying, because being in this field of research around purpose for the last 10 years, watching all of this go on now, the focus on purpose, it's really special to me. It's very gratifying. And thank you, Michelle. What a wonderful host you've been to this show.
I hope we can meet in person next year. And to all of you out in our audience that are streaming with us, we're going to pray for that. So next year is a date, whether we are live and in person or we are virtual. We'll stay tuned and we'll keep our purpose. For AARP and that's right, and the entire family out there, I want to say thank you for joining us. And again, we'll see you next year.